Hi, thank you for joining me for today's May I Scraplift You, and today I've chosen a layout from the lovely Nicole Santos. You can see it in the top right hand corner there. She is Cause We Love to Scrap on Instagram. I will link her details below. And I've chosen to scrap 2 photos from our trip to Newport on Rhode Island when we went back in 2015. It's just of some of the mansions there. And you can see Nicole started with some strips of paper going across her layout. So I thought I was going to use my scraps and I pulled out that yellow paper, but in fact when I was looking at the embellishments I landed with Fernwood, and when I pulled out my Fernwood the papers in there were just so gorgeous to go with this collection that I ended up using those. So I've used a little bit of my scraps, but not as much as I'd intended. So I was going through the scraps to see if I could find that pale green that's in the first mansion there, but I couldn't really find anything that went with it. So I'm going to pull in my Creamies Sage It Isn't So, which you can see on the left hand side there, to bring that green into the layout. So I'm just going along this piece with my border punch. I've punched the other pinky orange piece, and then I'll use a different border punch again on that yellow piece to finish that, and these 3 get layered up together. So these are the only 3 border punches. I think I have one more actually, the rounded notebook punch. When I stopped scrapping a while ago I got rid of a lot of my tools and stash, and border punches was one of the things that I didn't keep, which I'm regretting a bit now, but can't keep everything, can we? So now that's all punched, I can work out where these are going to be positioned. So just going to do my usual trick of using a pencil to roughly mark where these are going on the page, and then I can add the mixed media behind them. And you can see I've taken the lid off my shimmers, so it's just, there's a bit of water in it just to leave it to soak. So adding a bit more, and then I shall paint around the border of where everything's going to go here. Just smearing it all out. Adding a bit more water, and then some splats. And I wanted to add another bit at the bottom here. And this is where another embellishment cluster will go in due course. So again, just splattering some ink around that. And at this stage, I didn't think I was going to add any of the paint to the top of the photos, but I do retrospectively, you'll see that in a bit. So just very roughly scuffing the edges of all the papers. And then I can get these stuck down. And per Nicole's layout, I'm not going to map my photos, they will just go straight onto the layout. So again, just getting everything positioned while I'm waiting for that to dry, and here we go. Just making sure that everything overlaps properly how I want it, and then use my wet glue just to get that stuck down. Just layering them up on slight angles. And then the photos can come in. Just wiggling them around. This is why I use wet glue, because I'm never happy with my positioning. I keep changing things. So these are the ephemera pieces from Fernwood, and they just worked really nicely with these photos. The colours work nicely, nice big pieces. So just curling up the edges slightly to give a bit of dimension, and then getting those stuck down. See, again, moving that photo once again. I think that was because this is such a big piece. I wanted to make sure it didn't cover the mansion when I stuck it down. Again, just pulling up those edges and curling them slightly. So now I'm going through the other bits and pieces that I pulled out. So this is a one of the printables that we sell at Hey Little Magpie. So I'm just adding an epoxy flare to that and getting that stuck down. There's also one of our canvas flares there with Explore on it, and that colour matches perfectly with the blue flower in the top left hand corner, so I'm going to bring that down into the bottom right corner just to bring that turquoisey blue through the layout. I've got some tickets from 49 and Market Essentials, so just getting that glued down, and you'll also see there's that heart geotag from JD3DPrint that I've put in that bottom right hand cluster as well. Just bringing in a butterfly or a moth, I'm not quite sure which one it is, and then starting to build this cluster at the bottom. So because it's houses, I pulled these houses out of my stash. I think they're from Rosie's studio. I've just got a box of ephemera in my drawer that I went through to see what else I could use. And then the other bits are from Fernwood, that Capture the Moments piece, and the camera was fussy cut from one of the papers. So I decided to raise that second house up onto a foam pad. I'm just cutting this notebook paper in half because I didn't need to use the full piece here, and then I can use the other piece above it to add the date to that cluster like Nicole's got on her layout. So just getting everything positioned. There's that piece that I was talking about, and I shall use my roller date stamp to add the date to that. Using my archive link because I get a nice crisp image from that. And I've got some more tickets that I just wanted to tuck in. So one at the bottom there, well, half at the bottom there, and then the other half on the top left. And then I'm using some of these scattery pieces that are on the puffy stickers. Just some of the hearts dotted around, and a star. Another star at the top there, and then another butterfly to overlap that top cluster. And now I'm coming in with my title. So I'm using the Pink Fresh Studio Spring Vibes mini alphabet, and the word Newport I wrote in the dark green, and then when I got to mansions I realised I didn't have enough of all the letters, so I've alternated with the mid green and dark green to write mansions there. Now coming in with my favourite mini chevrons from JD3DPrint, just to fill in that gap next to the word mansions. And then layering up some more tickets underneath just to fill in that gap there. So that's one of the half pieces that I had left. Just getting those all in line. And then some more tickets just to bridge that gap there. So one of the paler green there, and then I'm going to bring in that beautiful teal turquoise colour in the middle. Just getting those stuck down first. Another star at the top there. I love this gold arrow, so I wanted to bring that in as well. And there's the other ticket that I was talking about to fill in that gap. And because I put that up there, I wanted to add another one to the left. So first of all the dark green, and then I'll bring in another one of those teal. And that just brings that blue really nicely around the page there with that canvas flare at the bottom right. So here I am just coming in with a little bit more of the paint. I just wanted to bring a little bit more around the page. So first of all across the top of this bottom piece. adding small splatters. And then across the top here. So while I'm doing this, don't forget to check the description box down below to see everybody else joining in on this lovely hop. There's a playlist that Pineapple Papers, Crystal Barrett, has organised for us all. So you can just watch everybody's videos in that one playlist without having to go to each link. So now I'm coming in with some of the bits and pieces that we sell at Hey Little Magpie. These embroidered flowers are gorgeous and they just add a really nice finishing touch. So dark green one there and a turquoisey teal on the left. And then this pale yellow or cream. Just looking through to see what else I can find. And I find this gold star, so I add that to that cluster there as well. And these finishing touches just really add something to the layout. It's lovely. And that's it. Thank you so much for joining me. I shall see you on the 1st of June for 30 days of sketches with Christy's Beautiful Life. See you then. Bye.